We're comparing Auntie Anne's in the US and the UK. Let's start with how much an original pretzel weighs.
Here is an original Auntie Anne's pretzel in the UK. An original pretzel in the UK weighs 138 grams. I saw this German game show online where they had to cut a pretzel into 2 equal halves, and I really want to try it out. I'm pretty sure we have a sharper knife than this somewhere in the studio, but I couldn't find it. So here we go.
I'm going to attempt to perfectly slice my pretzel so that both sides are even weights, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. It's a little wonky already. They're not perfectly symmetrical, so I don't know if I can pull this off. I think I might have gotten it. Hold on.
That's not bad. I was maybe like 1 gram off.
This might be pretty good. I goofed. Next, we've got our cinnamon sugar nuggets. We have small, regular, and the bucket.
In the UK, we just have one size of pretzel nuggets. The website doesn't say how big the portion is or how many nuggets we're supposed to get in there, so we're going to measure and count them. I don't know how they got them in the cup before. That's way harder to stack than it looked.
That's really not that big a difference in amount of the small and regular. That's a lot of nuggets. Our regular cinnamon sugar nuggets come out to 224 grams. Here we have the classic Auntie Anne's lemonade. It comes in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large.
Drinks from a UK Auntie Anne's come in 2 sizes. We have a regular and a large. The volumes aren't disclosed, so we're going to pour them out now.
Here goes the small. So the large came out to about 27 ounces, which is pretty low, under 32, I would say. Still, I don't know if I would notice, but you should be getting the amount they advertised, of course. And lastly, for portion sizes, we have my personal favorite thing to get at Auntie Anne's, which is the pretzel dog.
And here is the UK pretzel dog. I've never had one of these before. The existence of them slightly unnerves me, but let's measure it. So in the UK, our glizzy en croûte came to 8 inches in length.
Also, Harry, I'm sending you to jail on 2 counts. 1 is that you don't like these, because that's crazy. And 2, you called it a glizzy en croûte. No, let's not ever say that again, please.
Here is everything from an Auntie Anne's in the UK that you don't have in the US.
Here's everything you'll find at Auntie Anne's in the US that you won't find in the UK. It's not a lot. I'm actually really jealous. Considering that Auntie Anne's was founded in Pennsylvania and it's such a fixture in malls and airports here, I thought we would dominate when it came to exclusives. I thought this is all we have. We only have 1 exclusive pretzel flavor in the US, sweet almond, which sounds really good to me. That's actually pretty nice. It does just taste like sweet almond. I really like the texture that the crushed up almonds on top gives you. It tastes like they candied the almonds before putting them on top of the dough. So it comes out really, really sweet, but not too sweet.
In the UK, we have 3 exclusive items when it comes to a traditional soft pretzel. First up, we have cheddar and jalapeno. Not the biggest jalapeno fan ever. Although Tilly was saying that she's come around on them recently, so maybe I'm overdue giving jalapenos another try. Quite like the flavor of jalapenos. I think it's the texture that I don't really like. I'm not the biggest pepper guy. Bit briny, a little bit spicy, not bad. Next up we have a sesame pretzel, and the pièce de résistance of our exclusive pretzels, the Nutella pull-apart. They didn't scrimp on the Nutella, I'll tell you that much. Just looking at this, and also from the name pull-apart, I think it's maybe meant as more of a sharer thing. You get one of these and you just kind of tear chunks off it. Yes, I'm pronouncing it Nutella, not Nutella. I'm not changing my ways, even if you think I'm wrong. It's pretzel dough covered in Nutella. How can it be bad?
It's so strange to me that we don't have a Nutella flavor of anything, of pretzel, of dip. I just feel like we like it so much here that I would expect it, but you know what? I'm not missing it.
In the UK, we also have the option of pretzel sticks. That sticks with an X, not with a CKS. These come in 3 flavors. We have the classic version, cinnamon sugar, and vanilla. I've tried the cinnamon sugar. I've not tried the vanilla sugar yet. Let's give it a quick spin. It might lack that certain je ne sais quoi of a cinnamon, but still a very good option. In the UK, we also have 2 exclusive versions of the pretzel nuggets. Again, we have the vanilla sugar option, but then we also have a cheese-stuffed pretzel nugget. These are quite exciting. I like these as a concept. It's kind of like, you know when you get a cheese-stuffed crust pizza? It's kind of all the stuffed crust without the actual pizza in the middle. Yeah, they have that satisfying rubbery cheese texture that you get from a supermarket stuffed crust pizza, which personally I quite like. You guys might be missing out over there. We brought some heat with these.
We have a serious lack of cheese and cheese-stuffed items at our Auntie Anne's here in the US. It's very shocking to me, actually, because we're obsessed with cheese. So why don't we have that? Let's get the auntie on the phone. Auntie, we have to talk.
The UK also has 3 exclusive flavors of pretzel dog. Here we have a cheese pretzel dog, cheese and jalapeno pretzel dog, and a cheese and pepperoni pretzel dog. 2 forms of pork. Let's see how this goes. It's not as bad as I thought it might be. Auntie Anne's in the UK doesn't just offer pretzels. On the menu over here, you'll find pizza, breakfast items, and even gelato. Because Auntie Anne's in the UK runs on a franchise model, it's kind of up to the franchisee which of these things they stock. We weren't able to find the pizzas today. What we were able to get today, though, are pizza bakes. From what I can gather, the pizzas are on actual pizza dough, whereas the pizza bakes, they take pretzel dough, stretch it out into a kind of rectangular shape, and then add pizza toppings to it. The 3 that we found today are American Hot, which for the American audience is what Brits call pepperoni and jalapeno, a pepperoni option, and margarita. I'll give the pepperoni one a spin. I'm intrigued to see if pretzel dough is kind of a proper vessel for pizza toppings. Why not? It's a bit on the doughy, bready side, which is to be expected because it's pretzel dough rather than pizza dough. But like functionally, it's still doing all the things that I would like a pizza to do.
Now this is just getting unfair. Not only do we not have pizzas at our Auntie Anne's, but the UK has an American-inspired pizza. I feel like I'm being bullied. I'm being taunted.
Now we're going to talk about some breakfast offerings. Again, the breakfast menu is not something you'll find everywhere in the UK because it is up to the franchisee. If you run an Auntie Anne's that's in a shopping centre, you might not want to stock the breakfast menu, but if you operate one in an airport, you probably would. We got 3 breakfast sandwich options today. Here we have the bacon, egg and cheese. This is the sausage, egg and cheese. Or if you're hungry, you can combine those into a bacon, sausage, egg and cheese. The bun they use for these, you will be shocked to learn, is also pretzel dough. It's not bad. I like the sausage. Some Auntie Anne's locations in the UK will also have a gelato menu. The one that I went to today did have the gelato menu, but I did have to drive like an hour and a half to get it, so I didn't see much point in just bringing back melted ice cream. I definitely don't think it's unusual for Brits to see gelato or at least ice cream in what is effectively a dessert shop.
Now it's time for sauce talk. Even though these are technically dips, I'm not really sure what the difference is.
Sauce talk.
Here in the US, we've got sweet glaze, hot salsa cheese, honey mustard, which we could not get, and the light cream cheese, which we also could not get. I do want to break into both of these. I'm very interested in this hot salsa cheese dip. It says heavenly hot salsa cheese dip. This smells exactly like those little snack packs that came with a side of breadstick crackers that you dipped into a cheese. It smells exactly like this. It kind of looks like it too, except this has some added jalapenos, bell peppers, all that good stuff. Absolutely not. Oh, that's actually really spicy. I wouldn't call that heavenly. Ugh, I don't like that. It's a no. All right, now let's try the sweet glaze. That is so sweet. It's a sweet glaze, for sure. Not for me. It's too much, but it's good.
Auntie Anne's in the UK offers a wide range of sauces and dips for your pretzels. Firstly, we have tomato ketchup.
Surely we don't need to be trying ketchup.
I've got to try them all, Charlie. There might still be people out there who don't know what ketchup tastes like. Yeah, I love that stuff. There's like almost no tomato in there. It's mostly vinegar and sugar. Pretty good. Then we have English mustard. Mustard and pretzels go way better than ketchup and pretzels, so this one makes way more sense in my head. It's that English mustard, so it's got a bit of a kick to it, bit of heat, that works. Sticking with the savory options for the time being, we have another tomato-based dip. I actually think this might just be the kind of like marinara pizza sauce that they use for the pizzas. Yeah, it is. I put this here because I wasn't sure if it was barbecue sauce or chocolate sauce. One sniff has confirmed it's barbecue sauce. Again, I think mustard and to a lesser extent the marinara sauce are much more logical pairings with pretzels compared to like ketchup and barbecue sauce. It's got a real tang and smoke to it, which is interesting, but again, just not sure that's what I want with my pretzel. So if that one was barbecue sauce, I'm hoping, and guessing by the texture, that this one might be chocolate. There we go. That's what we wanted. Chocolate sauce, fantastic. Quite gloopy, got like a nice thick texture to it. Good amount of chocolate flavor as well. I like it. Gonna give myself real whiplash here, because straight from chocolate, we're going to what I think is nacho cheese. I do like nacho cheese. Yeah, I mean, it's nacho cheese. It's pretty good. This looks like a caramel, or it also could be a peanut butter, or maybe a Biscoff. Biscoff. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Not the biggest Biscoff fan. However, I don't think I've had the spread version of it before. And that with the kind of like salty pretzel actually does go quite well. There's so many dips. This one I'm really not sure on. It looked like a lemon curd at a distance, but then I smelled it and I was getting more like custard from it. So I think maybe this is like a kind of vanilla-y dipping sauce. It was very good though, but I really like that. It tasted a lot like sort of just an ambrosia custard, you know. Next up we have powdered sugar. Yeah, it's definitely powdered sugar, pretty good. And then we have three sauces which I feel like I've seen in like kebab shops in the UK before. It's these Harrison's brand dipping sauces. We have garlic and herb, a honey mustard dressing, and sweet chili.
We don't have as many pretzel options in the US, but we do have some exclusive drinks. We've got frozen lemonade, mango lemonade mixer, watermelon lemonade mixer, frozen watermelon lemonade, and watermelon lemonade frost. Even though all of these drinks are very, very melted and old, I do still want to taste the watermelon lemonade frost just to see what's up with that. Oh, this looks bad. I made it chunky. Oh, I'm making it worse. Here's what this is actually supposed to look like. I'm just gonna take a small sip. It's not that bad. It actually looks way worse than it tastes. It kind of tastes like melted Jolly Ranchers.
Now we're onto the exclusive drinks found at a UK Auntie Anne's. We'll start with the cold drink options. Now one thing that kind of bamboozled me was Dutch ice. So at Auntie Anne's in the US, they have a thing called Dutch ice. I do not know what a Dutch ice is, but I do know what a slush puppy is. So here is a Dutch ice, as Auntie Anne's would say, or as most Brits would say, a slushie. The one I went to today had the blue raspberry, they had a strawberry, a tropical, a frozen lemonade, and also an apple one. Auntie Anne's in the UK also offers Coke products. So we have a Coke Zero and a Fanta Orange. And then again, because it's a franchise thing, you might have slightly different soft drink options elsewhere. So we have these simply fruity drinks in apple, orange, strawberry, and blackcurrant and apple. In the UK, we love our hot drinks and our espresso-based coffees. Auntie Anne's in the UK has capitalized on that and has a bunch of hot drinks available. Of course, we just have an English breakfast tea, but you can also get a hot chocolate, an Americano, a cappuccino, as well as a flat white and an espresso. Then we're onto the milkshakes, which we have a lot of in the UK. I just got 3 of the more interesting ones today because I didn't want to carry about 20 milkshakes home in the car. Not only do we have Nutella on the menu as a pull apart, but we also have a Nutella milkshake. This one really intrigued me / terrified me. This is a bubblegum milkshake. Oh man. It tastes like bubblegum. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I taste something that's bubblegum flavored, I have a real like instinctive feeling that I shouldn't be swallowing it. I think just from years of chewing bubblegum and being told, do not swallow this. So even now, edible bubblegum flavored products, my brain is just like, no, 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 do not eat, do not eat. And then I was also able to get a banoffee milkshake. Banoffee is one of those things that I always assume is universal, but I think actually it doesn't really exist that much outside of the UK. For the uninitiated, banoffee combines banana and toffee. Banoffee pie is the most common like delivery vehicle, I would say, for this one. But turns out the milkshake, pretty tasty.
The only reason I'm not so upset that the UK has way more food options than we do at our Auntie Anne's is because usually where you'll find an Auntie Anne's, like a mall, you'll find a bunch of other food options. So if I wanted to get gelato with my Auntie Anne's, I could. If I wanted to get a pizza with my Auntie Anne's, I could, just not at the same stall. So there's that. Auntie Anne's doesn't list their ingredients on their website, but we've pulled them from their DIY at-home pretzel kit. The dough mix contains wheat flour, sugar, yeast, dextrose, salt, sodium bicarbonate, cornstarch, molasses, sodium aluminum sulfate, and acid phosphate of calcium. Sodium aluminum sulfate is a slow-acting leavening acid. It helps the pretzels rise. That one sounds so much scarier than it actually is.
According to its box in the UK, the DIY dough mix contains yeast, wheat flour, calcium carbonate, iron, niacin, thiamine, baking soda, sugar, malt extract, salt, and cane molasses. However, Auntie Anne's did confirm to me via email that the ingredients are the same globally, so there might just be some differences in how local markets require ingredients to be written out on boxes.
The dough Auntie Anne's uses is actually made on site by the employees. It's not shipped to stores frozen like I assumed. Stores receive a signature flour mixture, and that gets mixed with yeast and water. Once the dough rises, it gets turned into fresh pretzels. A former Auntie Anne's employee claims that freshly baked items get replaced every 30 minutes to ensure freshness. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Instead of using baking soda in the actual dough, apparently Auntie Anne's uses a mixture of baking soda and water to brush their pretzels before baking. This supposedly helps to give the pretzels that nice crust. After baking, they're also topped with butter to give them that nice shine. Auntie Anne's claims that it has a secret ingredient for its pretzels, which is still kept tightly under wraps. Anne Byler, the founder of Auntie Anne's, has said that the secret ingredient was a makeshift substitute used by her husband when he got the wrong ingredients for making pretzels. But apparently it turned out pretty well. Some people allege that the secret ingredient is just sugar, but that doesn't seem like something you'd really have to try that hard to keep under wraps.
We weren't able to find the ingredients for the plain pretzel, but we did for the pepperoni pretzel. Here, a pepperoni pretzel contains 480 calories, 17 grams total fat, 760 milligrams of sodium, and 66 grams total carbs.
A pepperoni and cheese pretzel in the UK contains 458 calories, 15.6 grams of fat, 1,800 milligrams of sodium, and 63.5 grams of carbs.
Our pretzel dog contains 350 calories, 20 grams of total fat, 800 milligrams of sodium, and 33 grams of total carbs.
And our pretzel dog contains 449 calories, 30.4 grams of fat, 1,800 milligrams of sodium, and 26.8 total carbs.
Next, we have a medium lemonade. It contains 250 calories, 0 grams total fat, 20 milligrams of sodium, and 64 grams total carbs.
A regular lemonade in the UK contains 122 calories, 0 grams of fat, 40 milligrams of sodium, 31.1 grams of carbs, of which 29.2 grams are sugars. An original pretzel from an Auntie Anne's in the UK will cost you £4.80.
And our original pretzel costs $6.99. That feels astronomical to me for a soft pretzel.
A portion of pretzel nuggets in the UK costs £5.70.
A regular cup of pretzel nuggets will cost you $9.99 in the US.
Earlier we counted that you get 10 nuggets in a portion, meaning that on average it's 57p per pretzel nugget.
That comes out to about 47 cents per nugget.
If you wanted to get a pretzel, a dip, and a lemonade in the UK, it would come to a total of £8.70. Although it's worth mentioning that in the store I went to, they had a combo deal, which gave you these exact 3 items for £6.80.
And in the US, a pretzel with a dip and a medium lemonade comes out to $13.46. Seems a bit steep for a pretzel and a drink, considering you can get a Big Mac meal for $10.19.
Auntie Anne is actually a real person. Anne Byler created Auntie Anne's after a pretty tumultuous period in her life. Using money that she borrowed from her husband Jonas's parents, the two of them set up Auntie Anne's. The original location was a concession stand in Downingtown, Pennsylvania farmers market all the way back in 1988. Apparently for them, it was their way of providing for the community.
Auntie Anne's would eventually become an international franchise with over 2,000 stores in over 30 countries. The UK and Ireland specifically have 38 locations.
I wouldn't say Auntie Anne's is a household name in the UK, but it is something that I would say most Brits probably have a vague or maybe even subconscious awareness of. This is because many of their locations are located in big shopping centres or shopping malls here in the UK. At some point or another, it's pretty likely that a Brit will have walked past an Auntie Anne's and smelled the pretzels being made. I think my first introduction to Auntie Anne's was on one of these shopping centre visits where they were handing out free samples. I remember eating a nice warm bite of cinnamon sugar pretzel and being pretty impressed, although I think I probably looked at the menu and thought, that's a bit pricey for me, seeing as that I'm 12 and I have no pocket money left. Auntie Anne's does seem to be making an effort to expand its UK presence. In a recent LinkedIn post, they said that they are pursuing an ambitious growth strategy over the next 10 years with plans to open 100 new stores across the UK and Ireland. This includes a new international store design in the UK featuring a fresh, vibrant look. Even if they're not a household name yet in the UK, in 10 years' time, they might be.
We have Auntie Anne's in all 50 states. There are 1,347 locations in the US alone. I cannot believe we have so many Auntie Anne's and yet so little menu items. It's so much smaller than the UK's, it's crazy. I think most of us in the US would associate Auntie Anne's with malls. I was always at the mall as a kid and I can still remember the smell of Auntie Anne's pretzels just wafting through the air. Hello, we're filming from my home because in the middle of making this video, Auntie Anne's decided to release this, a pretzel-scented perfume. And of course we have to try it. I also got some Auntie Anne's pretzels so that we can do a little smell comparison, see if it's just like the real thing. Auntie Anne's releasing this makes a lot of sense to me, honestly, not just as like a funny little marketing ploy and getting people to talk about them, but also because they are so known for the smell of their stores. Like when you walk into the mall, that's the first thing you smell. So this is kind of funny, but also, yeah, I want to smell like an Auntie Anne's pretzel. You know what I mean? Not only do I love the name Need, that is so funny to me. I also love that they matched the packaging on the perfume from their packaging in stores. Like, this is so cute. This is so dumb, but it's also very necessary for me personally. Ooh. Whoa. Okay. Yes. I totally smell Auntie Anne's pretzel. It's not in the authentic way you'd get the scent, like when it just kind of wafts up to you softly in the mall and just carries you towards it. It's more in your face and intense. Obviously, it's a perfume. Okay, let's do the sniff comparison. I have the perfume on my wrist, and I have a pretzel in my left hand, straight from the source. I definitely would say that the perfume smells like perfume and this smells like food. Shocker. But it just does come off as a more natural, soft, food-like smell off the pretzel, and the perfume is just more in your face. This is the scent of butter and sugar and sweetness. It's a lot in comparison. It's not the same, but I can appreciate it for what it is. Okay. Go back to the video. Bye. I think that pretzels are just a good walking food, so it makes sense that they're so popular in places like malls and airports. But why are Auntie Anne's stores pretty much only found in malls? It all comes down to foot traffic, which malls tend to have a lot of, or at least they used to. There's been a decline in mall visitors since the 80s and the 90s when malls are at their most popular. The pandemic also really affected mall traffic, but it's slowly been rising back to pre-pandemic levels. The uncertainty when it comes to the longevity of malls is probably why Auntie Anne's has been experimenting with standalone drive-through stores. Speaking of malls, let's check in with Joe, who is currently at the mall with some Auntie Anne's. Joe, is Auntie Anne's the perfect mall snack?
Just got a pretzel right away. I think the bag, a bit of a misstep. I think just handing me the pretzel would have been better. I don't want to carry this bag around. Bag goes in garbage. Now we're talking. I'm currently walking around a mall with a pretzel, I have to say. Pretty ideal mall food. Makes it easier to hold. Nice thing to have in your hand when you're checking out what's going on at Lush. It is a little salty because it's a pretzel. If I wasn't filming myself right now, I would also have a drink, but gotta hold the camera. So, but as far as a pretzel walking around a mall, I think it's pretty ideal.
Thank you, Joe. We can always count on you to get to the truth of a story. It's not the only pretzel franchise we have here. There's also Wetzel's Pretzels, which is equally good in my opinion. When I was little, I used to love watching the Auntie Anne's workers actually make the pretzels in front of you. They do this really mesmerizing fast movement to create the pretzel twist. Supposedly, the fastest Auntie Anne's pretzel roller can roll and twist a pretzel in 3.5 seconds. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe so you never miss an upload. We upload new episodes every Sunday. And leave a comment if there's a restaurant or food that you want us to compare next.